Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. There's a moment, quiet, almost invisible, where a woman decides whether you're just another man in her life or the one she would fight her own fears for. Most men miss it. They think love is loud, obvious, dramatic. But the truth? The real signals are subtle, and by the time you notice them, it's often already too late. Before we go deeper, take a second, subscribe, like the video, and stay with me, because what I'm about to share might change how you see every woman you've ever known, including the one on your mind right now. Listen carefully. Women don't love the way men are taught to recognize love. They don't always say it directly. They don't always share it in ways that feel logical. Instead, they reveal it through behaviors they cannot fake for long. Patterns that only appear when her emotions are real, deep, and slightly dangerous to her own sense of control. And here's the part most men never hear. When a woman truly loves you, she doesn't just give you her attention, she gives you access. Access to parts of her she keeps locked away from the rest of the world. Her softness, her fears, her contradictions, her chaos. But access is fragile. The moment she feels unseen, unvalued, or emotionally unsafe, those doors begin to close, quietly, permanently. I've sat across from countless women, listening to their truths when no one else was allowed to hear them. And I can tell you this with absolute certainty. When a woman loves a man deeply, she starts doing things she never planned to do. Things that even surprise her. Not because she's trying to impress you, but because emotionally, she's already chosen you. And when a woman chooses you at that level, her behavior changes in ways that are impossible to replicate without genuine feeling. The problem? Most men misread those changes. They ignore them. Or worse, they take them for granted. And that's exactly how they lose her, without ever understanding why. So if you've ever wondered whether her feelings are real, or if you're about to lose something you didn't even realize you had, stay with me, because what comes next might be the truth no one ever told you. Until now. Listen closely, because this is where most men begin to misunderstand love entirely. When a woman truly loves you, she begins to invest energy into your world without being asked. Not because she has to, but because your presence starts to matter to her emotional balance in a deeper way. She checks in on you in small, consistent ways. She remembers details you mentioned in passing. She notices your moods, even the ones you try to hide. And here is what makes this powerful. She does not do this for every man. This level of attentiveness requires emotional engagement that cannot be sustained without genuine attachment. If she is only casually interested, her focus drifts. If she is indifferent, her responses feel mechanical. But when she cares deeply, her mind naturally returns to you throughout the day without effort. She might ask how your day went and actually listen. She might pick up on subtle changes in your tone. She may sense distance before you even acknowledge it yourself. That sensitivity is not random. It reflects emotional priority. You begin to occupy space in her internal world, not just her external attention. At the same time, her consistency becomes noticeable. Not perfection, not constant excitement, but a steady presence that you can rely on. She does not disappear when things become slightly inconvenient. Instead, she leans in, because emotional connection feels more important than temporary discomfort. Many men overlook this because it does not look dramatic. They expect grand gestures, intense confessions, or obvious signs. But real attachment is often quiet, steady, and built through repeated small actions over time. There is also a shift in how she communicates. She becomes more open, more willing to share thoughts that are not perfectly filtered. She allows you to see her uncertainty, her opinions, and her perspective without trying to impress you constantly. This openness is not given lightly. It develops only when she feels emotionally safe and respected. If you observe carefully, you will see that her behavior is not random. It follows a gradual pattern of deepening. Each interaction, each small effort, is a reflection of growing emotional investment. These signals are subtle, but they are consistent for those who know how to recognize them. When you understand this, you stop chasing confusion and start recognizing clarity in what she is already showing you. When a woman loves a man deeply, one of the clearest but least understood behaviors is how she prioritizes emotional alignment over ego. She begins to care less about being right in every situation and more about maintaining a connection that feels stable and respectful. This does not mean she has no opinions or boundaries. It means that when the relationship matters to her, she chooses communication over conflict in a way that protects the bond rather than her pride. You will notice this in small disagreements. Instead of escalating unnecessarily, she may pause, reflect, and try to understand your perspective. She might ask questions instead of making assumptions. She becomes more solution-oriented because the idea of distance between you feels uncomfortable to her. That discomfort is not weakness. It is emotional investment expressing itself through behavior. At the same time, she becomes more emotionally expressive, but in a controlled and intentional way. She does not open up to everyone like this. With most people, she maintains distance and composure. But with a man she loves, she allows her guard to lower gradually. She shares thoughts she would normally keep to herself. She expresses concerns, hopes, and even insecurities, trusting that you will handle them with care. This level of openness is not accidental. It is built on perceived emotional safety. If she feels judged, dismissed, or misunderstood, she retracts. But when she feels heard and respected, she expands. That expansion is one of the strongest indicators of genuine attachment. Another subtle but powerful sign is how she includes you in her future thinking. It may not always be explicit plans, but you begin to appear naturally in her conversations about upcoming events, decisions, or life direction. She starts to consider your presence as part of her mental framework, even in small, everyday scenarios. This is not about dependency, it is about integration. You are no longer viewed as separate from her life, but as someone who fits into it in a meaningful way. Many men fail to recognize this stage because it does not come with dramatic announcements. Instead, it unfolds quietly through consistent behavior, thoughtful communication, and an increasing willingness to build something stable. When you understand this shift, you begin to see that love is not just expressed through words or intensity, but through alignment, cooperation, and the subtle decision to include someone in your emotional world without being forced to do so. There is a stage in a woman's feelings where her behavior begins to reveal something deeper than interest. She becomes protective of the connection. Not in an obvious or controlling way, but in subtle emotional adjustments that show she values what you share together. When a woman loves you, she becomes more mindful of how her actions might affect you. She starts to consider your feelings before making decisions that involve your time, attention, or emotional energy. This does not mean she loses her individuality. It means she begins to integrate awareness of you into her choices because your emotional state starts to matter to her. You may notice that she becomes more thoughtful in her communication. She chooses her words more carefully during sensitive moments. She may avoid unnecessary misunderstandings by clarifying her intentions instead of leaving things ambiguous. This is not about walking on eggshells. It's about valuing harmony over chaos. Another important shift is how she reacts to distance. When a woman does not care deeply, distance often feels neutral or even comfortable. But when she is emotionally invested, distance creates a subtle tension within her. She may reach out, check in, or re-establish connection in ways that feel natural rather than forced. Not out of fear, but out of a desire to restore a sense of closeness that feels meaningful to her. She may also show small acts of support that seem insignificant on the surface, but carry emotional weight. Encouraging words, reminders of your strengths, or genuine interest in your progress are all reflections of how she sees your growth as something she is emotionally connected to. At this point, her loyalty is not declared loudly. It is demonstrated through consistency. She does not easily replace the connection she has built with you because, to her, it represents emotional familiarity, trust, and value that cannot be quickly recreated elsewhere. Many men underestimate these signs because they are not dramatic. There are no grand declarations attached to them. Instead, they exist in the everyday choices she makes, the tone she uses, the effort she gives without being asked. But if you pay attention, you will realize something important. When a woman begins to protect the connection, she is no longer just interacting with you casually. she is emotionally invested in preserving what exists between you, because losing it would affect her more than she may openly admit. When a woman truly loves a man, one of the most revealing changes is how she allows herself to be seen in her most natural state. She stops trying to maintain a perfect image at all times and begins to feel comfortable being real around you. This includes moments where she is not polished, not composed, and not in control of how she is perceived. This comfort is not given lightly. It develops when she feels emotionally safe enough to lower the defenses she normally keeps in place in social settings. Around you, she may laugh more freely, express herself more honestly, or even show vulnerability without immediately trying to recover her composure. That willingness to be unguarded is a strong indicator that she trusts your presence in her emotional space. Another subtle sign is how she responds to your absence. Not in a dramatic or reactive way, but in a noticeable shift in engagement. When a woman is emotionally attached, your absence is felt internally. She may reach out, initiate conversation, or find small reasons to reconnect. These actions are not calculated. They are instinctive responses to the emotional connection she values. At the same time, she begins to show patience that she would not normally extend to someone she feels indifferent toward. Minor misunderstandings or small imperfections are not immediately magnified. Instead, she gives the relationship room to breathe because she recognizes its importance to her. There is also a quiet form of loyalty that becomes evident over time. Even without explicit commitments, her behavior reflects a preference for you that is not easily influenced by external distractions. She may still interact with the world around her, but her emotional center remains anchored to the connection she has built with you. This does not mean she ignores her own needs or boundaries. On the contrary, when a woman loves in a healthy way, she balances emotional investment with self-respect. What changes is the direction of her emotional energy. It becomes more focused, more intentional, and more consistently aligned with you. Many men overlook this stage because it lacks spectacle. There are no exaggerated displays or constant validation. Instead, love reveals itself through comfort, consistency, and the willingness to be real without fear of judgment. When you recognize this, you begin to understand that genuine love is not about intensity alone. It is about stability, trust, and the quiet decision to remain open, present, and emotionally connected over time. There is a final truth most men never fully understand, and it is the one that determines everything. When a woman loves you, she does not just change how she behaves around you. She begins to emotionally invest in the outcome of the connection itself. That means your presence in her life is no longer optional in her mind. It becomes something she subconsciously protects, values, and considers when making decisions about her future. You will notice that her energy is not random. She shows up consistently in ways that align with building something meaningful rather than temporary. She does not treat your connection as something that can be replaced without consequence. Instead, there is a sense of continuity in how she interacts with you over time. She begins to show a form of emotional reliability, not perfection, not constant availability, but a pattern of returning, engaging, and maintaining connection without needing constant persuasion. This reliability is one of the strongest indicators of genuine attachment because it reflects internal commitment rather than external pressure. Another subtle but powerful sign is how she responds when you succeed or grow. When a woman loves you, your progress does not intimidate her, it uplifts her. She feels a sense of pride and connection to your growth because, in her mind, your journey is not separate from the emotional bond you share. She supports it, acknowledges it, and often encourages it in ways that feel natural and sincere. At the same time, she becomes more selective with her emotional energy. Not every person receives the same level of access to her thoughts, her time, or her attention. The depth she gives you is something she does not easily replicate elsewhere because it requires trust, comfort, and emotional alignment that takes time to build. But here is the part you must understand clearly. All of these behaviors only remain consistent if the emotional environment feels safe, respectful, and reciprocal. Love is not one-sided. If she feels ignored, unappreciated, or emotionally disconnected, these behaviors begin to fade. Not suddenly, but gradually. So the real question is not just whether she loves you, it is whether the connection you are building allows that love to exist, grow, and stay alive. Because when a woman truly loves a man, she does not just show it once. She shows it through patterns, through consistency, and through the quiet, everyday choices that reveal where her heart is truly invested.